This is a tutor explanation for Functional Skills English Reading Level 2 Reformed paper. The questions are from this paper here with the reference that's on the screen, and I'm going to go through question 14 and 15 in this video. Question 14. Which one of these statements about the language used in text A and text B is correct? So for this section I've put text A and text B next to the question. So let's have a look at the statements. Both use similes to increase interest. Both use first person to explain opinions. Both use direct address to gain attention. Both use rule of 3 to emphasize points. So in the text, the blue lines have indicated what one of the answers, but obviously I've found evidence for the one that is correct. But we will go through what the others are just to increase knowledge. Language features that are mentioned in the questions are similes, and I've put a description next to it. So a simile describes something by comparing it with something else, usually using the word like or as. For example, the island was like a jewel in the sea. Help your children to swim as naturally as a fish. Simile. First person, so you can have first person singular, which is the use of the pronoun I. For example, I am against cars being used in towns. Or you can have first person plural, which is the use of the pronoun we. We are the only provider of cleaning services in the town. Also mentions direct address, which is the use of the pronoun you to address the reader directly. For example, you will see a bank on your left. If you want to find out more, visit our website. Final one is rule of 3. Rule of 3, or sometimes called a triplet. The use of a trio of verbs or nouns or adjectives to create a particular event. For example, stop, look and listen. Parents, guardians and other carers. Exciting, challenging and fun. So rule of 3 does come up quite a lot. It is easier to read and actually is easier to say as well. The answer to the question is rule of 3. That is the only one that appears in both text A and text B. I've highlighted in both text A, which is at the top there, and text B, where rule of 3 comes in. It's quite good to remember rule of 3 because it is something that is used quite often, probably a lot more than you realise. And that, if you know about it, perhaps you can see it in newspaper articles, adverts, radio. It does come up quite often. So in text A, an example is traditional TV sets have lost a battle with laptops, tablets, smartphones. And in text B, and as for our entertainment, there is limitless choice, music, films, YouTube. In the next column, people are utilising so many devices for work, study and leisure. So examples of rule of 3 there. So going back to the question, the answer to this one, as it's a multiple choice question, it's only one, is both use rule of 3 to emphasize points. Question 15. You are doing a project on the effect of technology on relationships. Identify one piece of evidence from each of the 3 texts which shows technology can have a negative effect on relationships with friends and families. So again, we have got to find one thing and one thing only. If you find 2 from one, you still only get 1 mark from each of the text. And again, the most pertinent part of the evidence you need to find is negative effect. Okay, so Again, I've highlighted to the side where you can find examples in each of the text. Text A. Some parents and carers are unhappy about the impact of these changes on family life. Indicates a negative effect. Text B. Social media reduces the time available for young people to read and can also cause problems with friendships. There's a couple in text C for you to choose from. This can have a negative effect on our relationships. We may be too engrossed in our phones to have a conversation at meal times. That's one. Or immersed in doing our own thing on different devices, even when relaxing in the living room with family or friends. Another example, put phones and tablets away when you are socialising and give people your full attention. So at least one example from all three there. So if we drag across I have put the evidence that we found against the relevant text for question 15. So one for each.